fit. Don't say anything about my jacket. That's not kind.
It looks perfect.
Thanks.
No problem there.
I wrote that into the script. Like most people, you've probably had that situation far too many times, but this next invention might just help.
Absolutely. It's a kind of smart mannequin. It uses robotic technology to actually physically change size. You can see it here whilst we're talking. It's based on the measurements entered in by the designer or the person who's making the patterns.
The company behind the innovation, Euveka, produced around 100 of these mannequins this year in Europe.
It's targeting both high-end luxury fashion houses as well as ready-to-wear brands, as well as the military and other public sector organisations. Well, we have the founder of the French startup Euveka with us in the studio, Audrey-Laure. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
So we were looking at that mannequin and you were showing me a video earlier. It actually just moves depending on the measurements that are inputted. Extraordinary. And this was your idea. You were studying to be a lawyer. What happened?
What happened, I listened too closely to my mum. She's beautiful. She looks like the French actress Catherine Deneuve. And she complained that she could not find garments that would fit her well. I found it unfair and I checked how garments were made. And I realized they were made on this wood mannequin that is so archaic and so unrealistic that I decided to make it evolutive. I thought it was easy, but then the magic of the body is so complex that it took years to make that robot. We have 7 years of R&D.
Can I just ask you how you went from being someone who was studying law to creating this extraordinary robot? I mean, you're moving from law to engineering, surely. I mean, how did you do that?
I was bold and young and unconscious, for sure.
Bold and young and unconscious.
Yes, that's it.
That's the key to success,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes, maybe, not to know what's going to happen next. I decided to drop off my study and went to study fashion and pattern making. I worked for 5 years to know my future users' taste and habits and to know them from the inside. And then I moved to robotics and I learned how to speak with engineers and to merge into a male-dominated world, but it went well, so we achieved quite a success.
I was just thinking, though, with this, if you're putting specific measurements and sizes in for someone who wants to buy an item and the mannequin's changing so it reflects their size, wouldn't it be easier if they just came in and were fitted out for it themselves?
It's not a B2C solution, it's a B2B technology. It's an industrial equipment for fashion brands and haute couture and make-to-measure brands. When the customer has not you don't need the customer to be there because normally when you make garments you need the person to come 2 or 3 times and this is quite difficult to have them. And then it's also for the ready-to-wear because they have sizes, but each brand has its own way to size their garments. And they need to try every time on the mannequin. And if they have an evolutive mannequin, they will be able to test every size, or they will be able to target their customer more directly. They will be able to take that shift in which I really do believe in. It's the mass customization revolution.
Now, you have gone from, creating this robot to providing many, many mannequins to high-end haute couture fashion, but also the military, the healthcare services. As a business, you're very well spread, you're very diverse, which is great. But also you've had requests from people to come up with a robot for the face, for the feet, for other parts of the body. Talk us through that.
Yeah, we were so amazed because at first I really thought it would be only for fashion, but then it came that for sport, medical and military sector, morphology was even more crucial because you make garments that have a function that will maybe cure or protect. For instance, in the military sector, life anti-bullet jackets are not so well done for women with breasts, and for the moment they have male jacket, which is really a problem. And then there are other sectors that came, and that was really a surprise. It was during the CES, where we won an award recently in January. And they came for the cosmetic because faces are changing through the age. So
a robot that will have a face that's changing and moving to show emotions.
Yes, and the aging process, and there are also, like for the body, different way that the body evolves according to the diversity of morphology, according to where you're from. And also for glasses, they have a real problem, and food.
But you can't make these robots quick enough, can you?
We will. We are organizing our growth. We need to handle the growth. It's a lot of work, but it's okay. We'll do everything. We want to go big and fast.
It's interesting, but given what you do, what do you think the next step will be? What's the natural next phase?
So the natural next move are that we are first dealing with fashion, medical and sports brand and military with a robot that is conceived for garments industry. And we are widening our target to Europe and now to the United States. We are opening a branch in New York in January 2019 and in Shanghai, where we have a huge market as well, in September 2019 too. It's very intense.
All right. Audrey, we're going to watch this space. It's been so lovely to meet you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for the honor.
Nice to see you.
Nice.